Hey everybody, I'm Mike at Filmboy24 and we're outside today. Why? Because it's beautiful outside today. Today we're going to talk about my DIY, super cheap, 16mm and Super 8, and I guess kind of any camera, video tap, part 1. So we're outside today. Expect to hear dogs barking, planes overhead, maybe kids, maybe squirrels. Yep, I hear a squirrel. I have a whole bunch of oak trees around me in my yard. So we have a ton of squirrels, we have raccoons, we have opossums. This is Central Florida. We got all kinds of critters and I'm outside, so we have to expect them. At any rate, it's typically really hot and humid here in Central Florida, and today is beautiful. It's in the mid-50s. It's the 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is probably the wrong time to film because the sun is right overhead. At any rate, I wanted to film. So good morning, afternoon, evening. I don't know what time you're watching this, but today I want to discuss what I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. It is not even close to complete, which is why this is part 1. See, I used to own a company. I started back in 2001 called Glide Shot Industries. And what we did was we manufactured camera jibs, camera dollies, kits, things like that for moving your motion picture equipment. Well, I ran that company for about 15 years and couldn't compete anymore with the copycats, and so I shut it down. At any rate, I love moving cameras. So it's probably not the greatest idea to do with film cameras because you start getting that ghosting effect. But if you do it right and you do it slow enough and you do it smooth enough, it can look beautiful. At any rate, at some point I'll dig out some of the jibs that we built. I had tripods and jibs and all kinds of cool stuff. But I'll dig some of that stuff out and we are going to fly some cameras. We're not going to do that today. What I want to do is kind of show you where I'm at in the process. Here's first what I want to accomplish with my video tap. All I really want to do is be able to see the framing of my shot. Now I understand focus is going to be an issue, and I also want to do this really inexpensively because I don't like to spend a lot of money on stuff like this. So this is purely experimental. So what I've done and where I'm at so far is I purchased this really inexpensive NTSC, and I don't remember, I'll put the link to where I got it. I get nothing for it, I promise you. But I'll put a link to which one. I think I got it on eBay. And I want to say it was 15 or 20 bucks. I don't remember. But it's a board camera, a very tiny board camera. Not very good resolution. But remember, all I'm looking to do is frame shots. So I got a board camera that is DC powered, 12 volts. I bought 2 or 3 different size little hobby boxes that screw together that at some point I will drill out and I will mount this camera inside one of them. This particular one came with a couple of different lid designs, and I have 2 or 3 of those, and I have a couple of other sizes as well that I'm going to try to work on to the viewfinders of my cameras. It came with this very simple audio cable and power cable. The camera did. This is your 3-wire camera connection. Plugs in here. We'll do that in a few minutes. On the other end is your RCA video only, because this is not an audio camera. Coffee's getting cold quickly. And this port here is the 12 volt DC in. Lastly, I bought a couple of these, and it's just a battery box with a connector on the end of it and an on-off switch. And this battery box holds 8 AA batteries. Now, eventually I'll probably use some of my rechargeable batteries in here. But for now, since I wanted full power, I put newer full power batteries in it. At any rate, that closes up. And again, you have the on-off switch here on the side. Now, this port here works perfectly in the power port. And once this is plugged into the camera and you flip this switch, the camera does turn on. I've tested it, I promise. Now, I was concerned about the lenses on these. These are those little N12 lenses, which I think means 12 millimeter threading. This is a 3.6 millimeter lens. Now, funny enough, I have a lens, an M12 lens kit arriving here today. Probably should have postponed the video till I got them, but it's nice out. Sue me. No, don't. I'm going to experiment with different lenses. So far, this one works fairly well. You have to have a monitor that will accept this little RCA video port, this little RCA video connector. My HDMI monitor that I've used for movies in the past, the digital monitor, doesn't have this, and I could maybe get an adapter, but it's HDMI, and then you got to power the HDMI, etc., etc. And again, all I'm looking for is a simple solution to frame my shots, not focus them, not get crazy, frame. So, I do have a little 7-inch monitor somewhere, I just don't know where, that I know takes this little RCA cable. I haven't dug it out yet, so what I'm going to do is bring out a large AC monitor. It's basically a TV, but it's a, I think it's a 24-inch. Yeah, I think it's 24-inch. It's an older one, it's an Insignia. We've used it on movies in the past and it works great, but it has the proper port, and I'm going to show you where I'm at so far. Again, I haven't figured out the mount yet, that's why this is part one. Haven't figured out how I'm going to mount it to several different types of viewfinders yet, and I'm not 100% sold on this particular lens. And please be aware, this is a very, very inexpensive camera, which you know equals poor quality video for the most part. But again, only looking for framing. So let me clear all this stuff off. Let me bring the monitor out and let's get to viewing. Okay, here we go. I got my dusty and trusty monitor out here. The sun is killing me because I didn't think this through, and it is directly overhead, and I have a lot of trees. I could have moved back a little bit, but I didn't. So why don't you now? Well, because I'm all set up. At any rate, I have the battery box connected to the camera. I have the television plugged into the AC, and I have the little audio, or the little video in, connected to the back of the TV. So when I pull this little lens cap off, you should be able to start seeing images. Now, the focus is kind of fairly set for my Bolex. It's not perfect, but I unscrewed the little metal viewfinder piece off of the back of the Bolex. That essentially allows you to take the top cover off of your viewfinder, but it gives a bigger opening than what your little viewfinder piece does. So I took that off, and then when I set this sort of against there, again, I don't know how well that's coming in for you, but I'm going to give you a close-up shot of all this. But as you can see, that's my 50mm lens. As you can see, we're getting somewhere, okay? Yeah, I know it's not perfect. It does the same thing with my Super 8. As you can see, I've just got it pushed into the back. And I don't have any batteries in this Canon camera right now, so I can't adjust the f-stops. At any rate, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. Just need to find a way to attach this camera so that it doesn't move. But I also want to experiment with some new lenses, and I think I heard the mail truck while I was getting this set up. I haven't gone out there and checked my mail, but I think my new lenses will be here today. So this is part one, and it's part one because this is as far as I've gotten. All I want to do is shade myself from the ridiculous sun in my face, and I want to make a very inexpensive DIY video tap that I can interchange between cameras. And by the way you focus this lens is to just unscrew or screw in the lens itself. and it stays focused permanently for until you, and there's a little set screw underneath that you can tighten that subsequently locks in your focus. I hope you'll follow along with me. I am so sorry, that sun is killing me. I hope you'll follow along with me in my DIY, very inexpensive video tap adventures. And I also want you to stay tuned, because this Sunday is the start of Super 8 Sundays. And I'm going to post a Super 8 film. I'm not sure which one yet. I've got a bunch of them scanned for everyone's enjoyment. So if you like videos like this and you want to follow along and see where this video tap goes, punch that like button for me. Do me a favor and subscribe. And I truly appreciate everyone that has subscribed so far. I am stunned at how many subscribers I have gotten in only 4 months. Today is officially my 4-month day since my first upload. And we're over 180 subscribers. Now, to a lot of people, that's nothing. To me, it actually means the world to me, because I care about my people. I care about my people. So, do me a favor, become part of the FilmBoy24 family and subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about this. Again, I'm going for super inexpensive. I want to make this whole system for less than 30 bucks, 40 bucks, somewhere in that range. Stay tuned. And until next time, I'll see you on the next go around.